In the second tutorial, we're going to be doing the project drawing catalog. What is a catalog? A catalog is a grouping of a certain type of a package product. In this particular case, this is a sample drawing package, top level assembly for a 46-foot cabin cruiser. So you could have a catalog, say if you're building cabin cruisers as your product, or you have some other things that you do, you can have them in catalogs. Now, let's make sure that you understand the top level drawing. The end item in this case is this cabin cruiser. Okay? The cabin cruiser is a 46-foot cabin cruiser, and this is its title for this particular record. Now, this record is called the parent record. And that's important because everything that is tied to the parent record, like these portals, this portal here, and other things that are available to be added onto this record within the application, and you can see that in the navigation menu, they have this as the top level item. In this case, that's the drawing title, the top level drawing name. It may be different than the title of what the actual item is, and then the top level drawing part number. Now, if you go over here and you look at this little portal, this is a multi-line portal, meaning that you can have as many records in here as you want by scrolling down. You can add a graphic. By clicking on this, it allows you to go in. In this case, it says replace because there's a current image in there. If you're on the iPad or on the iPhone, you would go ahead and look in your picture library that's on your iPhone or iPad, and then go ahead and pick that. Now, I'm not going to go in and do that, but basically you can do that, or you can just delete what's in there, or you can expand this to show this at a larger view. Well, I've already built in larger views in the portals themselves, so you don't have to do that. So if you go to the portal through this portal button, you'll see this in a large view. You can put a narrative here that talks about the top level description for this item. This is a complete full-size vessel for going to sea, which is the 46-foot cabin cruiser. Now, like I said, you can scroll down. In this case, I would go into the actual image because I'm on a simulated iPad or iPhone, and I can scroll down. Now, this could be as many different pictures or schemes of stuff that you want for this particular cabin cruiser. Now, in this case, I put two different ones in there, but that's not normally what you would do. You'd have maybe a bow view, a stern view, and so forth. And this has a overhead view and a different view here. This is just showing the drawings or images that you have in the image library for this top level item. Now, let me point out how these functions, these portals down here function. As you add a top level drawing number, this number here, it is also now added to the list of top level drawings for this particular total assembly. So this is an assembly drawing level. This is a sub-assembly drawing level, and within each portal here for the sub-assembly, there's a bit and part and piece type things for the items that actually are attached to whatever this thing is. And this is a sub-assembly. This sub-assembly could be part of a larger assembly. So for example, if you had an engine, like a diesel engine in this craft here, and it had things like a fuel pump, a manifold, and whatever, those would be the top level assembly would be the engine, and then all the bits and parts and pieces that are considered assemblies on that engine, and then the bolts, the nuts, the hoses, and all that kind of stuff that attach to each one of these individual items in the subassembly. So let's go back and look at this again. An assembly, the subassemblies for that assembly, and then clicking in the portal takes you to the subassembly parts. Okay. That being said, if you click in this over here, you're going to get a list of all the individual drawings at the top level. You'd pick the top level, so this helps you to create the top level drawing. The next thing you would do is you create the assembly part number, and then the next lower assembly part number. So let's say this is the top level drawing for the assembly itself on the main end item. Then you'd have the next lower assembly. Each time you have a new lower assembly, then you would create that as subassembly down here. When you click on this one, this is going to bring up the list of all the subassemblies and the names and narrative for them. And that's how you would create the records. So this would be the name of that subassembly, the type of drawing, the quantity of this item within the assembly, the value of the actual thing at the price level. And if you had put a calculation in here of 2, 3, 4, then it would multiply this amount and show it over here at this amount. You would go ahead then and click in the portal if you wanted to see the definition or more information of this item. And up here you'd be able to see the actual same information but all the pictorials for whatever record you pick here. So you might go in here and there would be a picture of the engine mount bracket frame, and that would be the drawing for this one in here, and then the water tank assembly and so forth. Okay, let's recap so we have everything clear that what we're doing here. The top level record, its name, its top level drawing description, its top level drawing number. Any amount of pictures and stuff that you want to put in here for the portal for the top level assembly, the actual assemblies in the top level assembly, and then the sub-assemblies for that particular item up here, individualized. And then of course within each one of these would have all the bits, parts, and pieces that hang on that sub-assembly. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If it does, you can go back and see the next video by clicking on the video help and going to the next one that's in sequence for the tutorials. Thank you.